Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it's your girl Weebo, back at it again with them fun, entertaining little whatever it is that I do on here. We don't know anymore. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. How are we this fine Sunday afternoon? It is a beautiful day outside. Daylight savings time has just occurred, which means that it's still slightly... It's bright enough outside that I don't feel like I need to bring a flashlight with me to wherever it is that I'm going when I'm walking alone in the dark by myself. But, not so light that I can't take a nap without my... I can't take a nap. I cannot take a nap without my face mask. I don't know what I'm saying. You get what I'm talking about, though, right? Is everyone else as tired as I am because of daylight savings? Because I know I'm a little bit sleepy. But, it happens. This evening, I am drinking Stella. We are awaiting with bated breath. And let me just move this on over. But we are awaiting with bated breath the one and the only Polydub, the Dummenstein, Rudiger Maximilian. I'm just kidding. Well, yes, we are awaiting him, but I'm not going to do the whole name thing. The name spiel, I guess you could say. Sorry, I was coding right before it was that we were doing this, because I have a project to do on Friday for artificial intelligence. I'm a hot mess right now. Mama Weebo is at it again. So I have a project due in artificial intelligence, and it has to do with genetic algorithms. And it's a little bit more complicated than I'd like it to be, but I got stuck on this one part about reading text files and ASCII characters being counted in a string array that I didn't want to be counted because there's spaces between each of the individual numbers that it is that I'm supposed to be looking at, and those got counted into the array when they're not supposed to. So it happens. But we got it. We figured it out. Now all I have to do is write the goddamn algorithm. Are you ever not a hot mess? Says Unholy Reaper. Yes. On occasion. I have my moments. I have my moments of hot messiness, and then I have my moments of not so hot messiness. And for all of you who are wondering where Polly is, we will see. He is, I'm going to say 3 more minutes until he shows up, maybe. Hello to you, your boy Pat. I haven't seen your, what is it called? Interview, I guess, with SDA yet, but I am planning on watching it at some point, probably while I'm coding more. I have a checkpoint due this week, which I've already met, but I'd like to get a little bit more ahead of it. For some reason, I'm coding a card game, right? And for some reason, all of the cards keep disappearing whenever it is that they, get dragged across the screen. So I'll be clinging to one, and then it'll intersect with the other ones, and they will start... they'll start disappearing, and I don't know why. But it is what it is. Brad Young, good evening. Chicago Mike, good evening. Lion Patriot, as always, good evening. Gulf City Cult of Krill, did you hear the news about John Travolta, weebs? They thought he had corona, but it turned out to be Saturday Night Fever. But that was funny. Yes, the one-ton hammer. The otter is not on time. Shocking, indeed. I had a good weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, I had a very good weekend. El Boyfriendo Supreme came down to visit because it was our 5th anniversary, like our 5-0, or not 5-0, 0-5 anniversary. We're not that old. 5th anniversary since we started dating, March 6th. Very, very important landmark, I guess you could say, especially for two souls as young as us, who've been in a long-distance relationship. So I guess you could kind of say I'm a little bit of an expert on how to succeed in that respect. But yeah, I'm excited. By the way, Unholy Reaper says, Unholy Reaper says, by the way, Weebo Jones, you can go to hell for that messed up rifle picture. Are you talking about the one on my Twitter? Is that so? Evolved Potato, I really want to be drinking, but it's only 10 a.m. What do? You only live once. Drink. Your boy Pet, have you seen the 3rd season of Castlevania yet, Weebo? I have, and I've also coincidentally seen all of the nonsense surrounding the controversies that are to be had about season 3 of Castlevania. Because why not have conniptions about vampires in a fictional universe doing things? We might talk about that. It depends. If Polly shows up, we'll see. I sent him the link. I'm pretty sure. He has it. I'm pretty sure he has it. I sent it to both his Twitter and I sent it to his Discord. No, that's my Discord. Speaking of which, by the way, if you guys would like to join me in the Discord, I think this week, in terms of movies, I think we're going to watch... Let's see. I have a list. I have a whole list. But we are going to watch, I think, maybe the Ghost Rider series. Just all 2 of those ones that happened. Or The Punisher. We watched The Punisher. Or The Incredible Hulk. Jonah Hex. Let's see. Fantastic Four. Ooh, you know what? We should watch Fantastic Four. Because I love doing shitty movie nights in the Discord. It's such a good time for all of us. Oh. Side tangent. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the side camera, where it is that I read off your donations. Thank you to Lion Patriot for the $5, who donated to the Streamlabs to say, "Days are longer, flowers are abloom. Can you tell I love spring? Soon I will have fragrant pollen in my mustache." Well, good for you. Good for you. I will not have fragrant pollen in my mustache, unfortunately, because I do not have a mustache. I'm a gunsmith for a living. Do you know how much I cringe at the picture of me shooting my cousin's gun on Holy Reaper? Oh, no, are you talking about the other picture that I sent out? The the really, really crappy one. Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. I was confused if it was the header in my Twitter or the one that I posted a few weeks ago. Okay, now I think now it makes more sense. Phasno4 says, "Too bad you missed the glory days of cheap Mussin Nuggets, Weebo. Around 15 years ago, you could have one for a pricey sum of 50 to 60 plus transfer background check fee." Moisten Nuggets. Interesting. Yeah, donations and shit. If you would like to donate to myself and my absent co-host, both of our links are in the description. Polly apparently needs it more than I do. Because he needs more incentive to show up to our show on time. I jest. Hopefully he's not having too many issues. We'll just give him shit when he gets here. Oh! That's right, the rifle that we're talking about. Okay. I'm gonna admit something to all of you guys. I like shooting guns. But as for knowing a lot about them, I am woefully uneducated in that department. Mainly because, I don't know, I'm just more of a hands-on learner. Like, I need to have the thing in my hands in order to make that connection. I'm making progress, I will say. Balak and my boyfriend have been introducing me more so to the more technical side of guns. So I know what a lower is, I know what an upper is, I know what the barrel is, I know the parts. I'm starting to know more about the parts and what's crazy versus what's not, gun laws and whatnot, aside from just point, shoot, gun safety that my dad has taught me. So that's good. I'm on the cusp of purchasing my first firearm, actually, in the next couple of months, like a month and a half. I will be the proud owner of some brand of snub-nosed revolver, probably a 38 special, because that's what I will be getting my concealed carry in, or for, with, whatever. That's the gun I'll use to qualify for concealed carry in my state. And you call yourself an American, Weebo Jones. I do. I'm just a little bit behind everyone else. The reason why is because I've had an education that emphasized a number of other things above that. So, for instance, up until maybe a week ago, not no, not a week ago, like a month ago, I couldn't tell you what a lower is on a gun. I could just tell you that the trigger portion is this portion, and the barrel portion with the dangerous projectile stuff coming out of it is this portion and stuff. I couldn't tell you what it was called, but I can tell you what the bridge of a violin is, and that's because I had 12 years of agonizing violin experience under my belt, which I'm going to have to dive into in the next couple of weeks too, because we have this reunion concert coming up where I have to play all of the songs that I've ever learned on the violin. But I digress. That's just to give you an idea of why it is that in some areas I seem to be a little bit less educated than I should be, as opposed to other areas. It is unfortunate, but we're getting there, okay? It's slow moving. The same thing happened with when I was building my PC. When I was building my PC, I actually had to have the parts to kind of make that connection on why they were important, what they did, all that jazz. I'm a very hands-on learner. Reunion concert lights later. Yeah, it's not going to be that kind of a concert. It's going to be, it's going to be more of an orchestral concert. There's going to be several hundred miniature violins on stage just playing for everyone's parents. My grandmother is getting box seat tickets to this thing. It's in a very old-fashioned, very esteemed, I guess you could say, location. I'm not going to give it away because that gives it away. But it's a place that's one of those places that is known for orchestral exhibitions, I guess you could say. Violin? You mean fiddle? No, I mean a violin. I never got around to playing as fiddly as people think of the fiddle when they fiddle. Because the way that you play does give like a kind of connotation. More of a classically trained violinist. I was taught the Suzuki method, if you're familiar with the Suzuki method. I'm not quite sure exactly what that entails as opposed to any other method, but I just know that that was the method that I was taught by. But the fiddle playing that I assume people associate with playing the violin is a little more relaxed, a lot more capable of freestyle. I'm not sure, but that's what I associate at least. Let's see. I think Richard Art was asking when my birthday is. I think it was Rich. I can't read. Oh, yes, birthday when? Need to know so I can have art piece ready. April 4th. That's when my birthday is. And I will be 22. 22. I have nothing to look forward to now, guys. I'm just kidding. I have the rest of my life to look forward to. A job, a house, kids, marriage. Not in that particular order. I'm just saying. That's like off the top of my head, the list. Michael Hatfield says, look, if you are buying a Snub-Nose 38 Special, look into /rent Magnum or 327 Magnum, more power, less recoil, 6 to 7 shots instead of 5 to 6. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to one of those ranges that allows you to kind of like rent a gun for a specific amount of time and buy ammo to go with the gun in order to kind of test out how the gun feels. I know a range that does that. And it would be relatively easy for me to kind of get an idea of what it is that I like versus what I don't, which is the most important thing to me. Because right now I have the specs for what it is that I would like, what would be ideal for what it is that I want. It's just a matter of selecting from the small pool of possibilities. And so I do at some point in the near to soon future have to go out of my way to make that ultimate decision of, well, this is what I like the feel of versus not. And until then, I can't really make a decision. So, it, like I said, depends on the feel, how I like it. That will be the ultimate deciding factor on what it is that I purchase, gun-wise. Richard Art, so I have time. Excellent. Yes, you do. Ocean Redux. So what is everyone drinking? I am drinking Stella. because I still have some of this left. I bought a whole 6-pack for when boyfriend came over because, well, I like this beer. He likes Coors Light, but I didn't want to be drinking alone, and I didn't want him to be drinking alone, so we were drinking beer together all weekend. It was nice. They're super fun to shoot, says Ocean Redux. I think that's with regards to his Beretta M9, a SIG 22.6, and a SIG 22M. All hollow point rounds and safety slug rounds. I don't know what safety slug rounds are. Someone explain that to me in the chat. Stella is good. I quite enjoy it as opposed to any other beer that I like. And I don't know why. I think it's because it's most refreshing, or more refreshing, I guess you could say. And it's not stouty, if that makes any sense. It's a good taste. And I am most definitely about that taste when it comes to drinking alcohol. They're bullets used by the FBI to shoot terrorists on airplanes. Interesting. Do you guys want to know something? You want to know something hilarious? Okay. So, Balik and I have been talking, and Balik has been talking about getting his, I think it's Title III license from the ATF about manufacturing guns or something. He wants to do that as like a side hobby for money and whatnot, and more power to him. But because we were having this discussion and he was telling me about this, I tried to one-up him, and essentially I did, because let's be honest, it's totally a one-up. I told him, you know what, if you're going to manufacture ARs, I'm going to take up manufacturing siege weaponry. You don't need a license, people, to manufacture nor to own a trebuchet. Did you know that? You do not. And for those of you who are unaware here, let me look up the trebuchet. This is the trebuchet. It's like a magnificent slingshot. Just look at that. That's a big boy. Could launch a few cars in the air with that monster. Look at that. Yep. You do not need a license from the ATF to manufacture nor own one of these. I don't even need a FOID card. What a time to be alive. And they're fun as fuck. Yes, agreed, Ocean Redux. I can imagine myself having oodles and oodles of fun building any size trebuchet. And you know what? You don't even have to use them as siege weapons. Not that you would have an opportunity to. You can have one just to have one. But let's be honest. You could totally use them to launch your children if they're being naughty. I'm just kidding. I'm not saying I'd do it, but I'd totally do it. Like if there was a lake somewhere and I could just chuck my children into the lake using my homemade trebuchet, it wouldn't go far. And, they wouldn't, nothing would hurt on them because they're being launched into a giant puddle. But, like, think about it. It would be fun. I would enjoy that. And, Ghost Vegan donated to say this. Infantapult for the win. Exactly. See? You get it. You guys get it. Y'all understand the joys. The joys of siege weapons. Yes, exactly. Best water park ride ever. If you're not disconnected from the ride entirely as you're being launched through the air towards a pool of water, then what are you doing with your life? Let's be honest. The counter to the southern wall. Yeah, that's how Mexicans will be getting over. Just launching their own people after they've constructed a trebuchet. Hey, you know what? All right. Let's be honest. They go through that much effort just to get over the wall. I say let them in. It's fine, I mean, they took a risk and they made it work, and only half of them, maybe a sixth of them survived relatively unscathed. You know what? They deserve it. Let's give them. Sorry. I'm having so much fun with this. I really do hope that Polly's okay, though. Like, Polly, what's up, man? Where you at, Home Slice? He was online earlier when I sent out the link, but it seems that he is not. Oh, you know what might have happened? It's daylight savings time, guys. How much money do you want to bet? I probably forgot about the time change. 5 quid. That's how much money I put on that. I don't even know how much 5 quid is, but 5 quid. Unholy Reaper says, I'm thinking Polly's asleep as he missed movie night with the AAA guys as well. Interesting. Yes, I've been Polly snubbed. Evolved Potato says, you probably need a parachute to safely use a trebuchet as a mode of transport. You know, you're probably right. It depends on how... Wait, hang on. Did we get another donation and I just didn't see it? Chicago Mike, are you trying to alert me of the fact that I missed something? What's going on here? Oh, no, you're just saying, okay, that's how much money you're betting. Sorry. That's right, because I asked how much money. I'm a dum-dum. Weebo's had a long weekend, all right? Boyfriend came down, so I didn't have a lot of time to do much of anything. In other news, I watched 2/3 of the Blade trilogy this weekend. And that means that I am, let's see. I am maybe like 2 more movies closer to my cutoff point of movies for the next collab that Polly and I are doing. You know, the one that's going to definitely get done before Christmas, as opposed to the holiday special collab that hasn't gotten done yet. But everyone should give Polly some slack, honestly. I mean, he's not here, so I don't feel like he'll get anything like gratifying out of me defending him in this respect, because I would never do this to his face. But in all fairness, it is a little bit difficult to put to the screen the captions that we came up with for what was going on in the actual scenes themselves, because I don't know if you guys have seen the holiday special, the Star Wars holiday special. The scene jumps, the character jumps, the dialogue jumps they're a little bit difficult, especially since you're only making Wookiee noises, or you're only hearing Wookiee noises, so attributing them to the different characters is a little bit difficult. But we managed, when we were conferring, it's just a matter of putting it to the actual screen. So he's got to kind of finagle some nonsense a little bit. So it'd be like that. But don't tell him that I gave him some slack, all right, guys? I would just kill the lovely little back and forth we got going, you know? JonTron did a Star Wars holiday special review back in the day. I also did one. Technically, it's on the second channel, but since I'm consolidating both channels, it'll probably get put up on this channel at some point. Preferably after I've uploaded some more recent and newer content to this channel that isn't a repost. So I'm talking like, I watched Catwoman last week. That's going to get a review. It's going to get a review. I watched Constantine. Also going to get a review. I'm probably going to review the Blade trilogy as well, but it's got to be mixed in with the rest of the content that I'm putting out on this channel, right? So it's got to be mixed in with the... Oh God, I'm totally blanking on it, but it's got to be mixed in with the regular political content, with the regular charming Weebo content, with the, cocktail hour content, because I want you guys to have a good variety, a good grasp on the world. Because I'm not just this one-trick pony, I'm not just politics. I'm not just quirky 22-year-old at college. I'm not just one thing. I can do multiple different things in terms of commentary. Unholy Reaper, Constantine movie or series? The movie, the one with Keanu Reeves. It's getting a review because I watched it. It's going to be scathing, to say the least. I didn't know Weebo was still broadcasting. YouTube unsubbed me, and I just found it again by accident. Resubbed. Good to see Weebo. Oh, hi, Measle. Yeah, no, I've noticed that before. What's funny about YouTube recently is it seems that every single time I upload a single video, people get unsubbed rather than subbing, which means one of two things. Either I am just a shit commentator and y'all are starting to realize that 4 years in, or YouTube is just auto unsubbing people. And I think it's the latter, not just because I'm trying to save my own ego, but it's not just me that this has been happening to, it seems. I'm not experiencing any growth, and that is unfortunate. And I know Polly will give me shit about this because, you should be grateful for all of the subs that I already have. But if I'm losing them just because people keep getting unsubbed, then I don't feel like I should necessarily just, look a gift horse in the mouth in that sense. I feel like, if the gift horse is handing me its shit, I should complain a little bit, because I don't want that kind of gift. Does that make sense? Dravin Musket. Hi, Weebo. Hi, Chad. I watched a bit of Monkey today, and Polly was there. Sounded like death warmed over, so probably he's getting some much-needed rest. Okay. See, there we go. Polly is dying of the plague. At least now we have an explanation. Hopefully he feels better. Everyone go send Polly some love. Subscribe to him, Send him chicken soup money if you got it, if you want to. It's entirely your prerogative. I don't feel pressured by me to do anything that you don't want to do. Just, it's a suggestion. I rate prostate. I'm losing subs too. Yeah, see, it's not just me that is experiencing this. I am woefully growing in the opposite direction, so I'm shrinking, which I didn't think would happen until at least to the age of 80, but here we are. I got to figure out how to circumvent that. And I have a few ideas. I'm thinking of doing more political content, but also more review type content. Putting more content out there definitely is something that I'm going to be working towards. Collabing with people, hopefully that want to collab with me as well. That's a little bit more tricky though, because, got to interact with someone else. Got to work with their schedule. And for those of you who are familiar with me, who aren't familiar with the Weebo, my schedule is notoriously difficult to work around. So that's a whole thing. Hopefully, when I graduate, it'll be a little bit less on the fritz, but that's a big hopefully. I don't even have a job yet for next year after I graduate, so we're going to see. A lot of things are up in the air right now, and I wish it weren't the case. I am spreading myself very thin, trying to finish all of my schoolwork, do YouTube stuff, enjoy my life, volunteer still, work the 2 other jobs that I have on top of YouTube, in addition to looking for another job for after I graduate. So I don't have a lot of time for distractions, which is unfortunate because I like to be distracted. And I'm like 90% sure that I am undiagnosed ADHD. Let's see, what else you got? The gift horse delivers by Trebuchet. Phasno4 says, yes, agreed. We should make a t-shirt out of the Trebuchet thing. That would be so much fun. Other than friends, what will you miss about college life? Being able to walk everywhere. So when I went off to college, I decided that I did not want to go to a big college. A big part of that had to do with the laziness of myself. I do not like the idea of walking an entire mile every day to just get to class. So I don't walk a mile every day. I am within like significantly less walking distance. Like I don't even have to drive, which is nice. The first 2 years of college, I would have had to have a car if I went to a bigger school, and I just did not want to deal with that, mainly because, one, we only had the 2 cars at the house. My brother needed it to get to and from school and do chores at the house. I could live without a car for 2 years when I went to school, so it's not a big deal. Oh my gosh, what's going on here? Someone is trying to message me. Okay, sorry, what was I talking about? The other thing that I looked into when I was going to go to college and why it was that I chose a smaller school had to do with I wanted smaller classroom sizes. I wanted that more personalized attention because I know I do better if I have someone who is directly mentoring me rather than just absorbing things that are being thrown at me in a lecture. Because then I get to ask questions, and I'm one of those people that, demands attention, but in a good way, So I will ask pointed questions at the professor, things that are unclear, maybe that are very important questions, points of confusion that I have that the other class might have. And I know that I thrive in that kind of an environment. And so that's why I chose a smaller school. I mean, I can learn by myself, but I do like having a resource to turn to when I'm not sure about something, because I'd rather get it right the first time and still learn something than spend hours and hours and hours learning something on my own that I didn't have to, And a lot of computer science is exactly that. It's troubleshooting and debugging and taking hours of your life just to figure out that one line of code could have solved the problem that you had for the last 5 hours, which, by the way, happened today. So you understand, right? Small schools equals a little bit more attention, which means that, you get the extra help if you need it. I like having that resource. The other thing, too, was the school that I go to has a hell of an alumni network because we're small enough that people are a little bit more, not intimate, but intimate, I guess, with each other in that regard. You can have better conversations with people because you can remember who it is you're talking to. There's a smaller scale to impress. If that makes sense. How is my hardware situation? I still need a new motherboard regarding my PC. The HP, though, the laptop, is still kicking, doing the dirty. The motherboard, though, that's not like a more pressing issue. I can live without that for a while, so long as I don't want to game or do any of that stuff. But there will come a time when I upgrade, and then when I upgrade, we'll do more gaming content on this channel. If that's what you were asking me about, I guess. What else? This all stemmed from a question about what I'll miss from college. Yeah, I'll definitely miss the ability to walk to and from places, because right now I can easily walk to both of my jobs, to class, to get food, anywhere I want to go. I mean, I do have to walk to do all of these things, but I can walk there and get there within 5 to 10 minutes, and it's nice. I like that. And I like having the excuse to walk, because why would you drive to a place that you can walk to in 10 minutes? Like, honestly, geez, no. None of that nonsense. So that's, I think, what I'll miss most about being able to, or being at college, is the short commute to everything that I need. Because when I go back home, right, if I get a job, there will be a substantial commute, at least a half an hour one direction every day. So an hour for both ways. So an hour commute a day. That doesn't, I mean, it's nice, but I see that as a waste of time, my time, because that time that I spend driving, I could spend doing literally anything else. Unless, of course, I buy into the audiobook thing, which I'm making more of an effort to do. I do that when it is that I make the long commutes out to the P.O. box. I listen to Audible, but I don't know. I'd like to spend that time doing something more productive. So script writing, drawing, maybe perhaps coding, making more money, cleaning. I don't know, anything really. A remote job would be interesting to have, but I don't see that happening anytime soon in my future. Walking equals saving money. Exactly, that too. You can save a lot of money walking places. I do not pay that much for gas, at least right now. When I get a job, when I start living back home, that will be different. Most certainly. Weebo Jones, you draw. I do, actually. Here, I'll show you guys an example of something that I've drawn. And by drawing, I mean, like, not photoshopping, but Photoshop. Let's see. File folder. Here we go. So I've discussed with y'all my tendency to write things. Most of my drawing circulates around that. That's another thing, too, I could spend my time doing while in the car, is drawing, or not drawing, but like working on the book that it is that I'm working on. So this is the map, roughly, of the different areas within the book that I'm writing, the different kingdoms, I guess you could say. This is, yeah, the kingdoms, and then there's another one for regions, because those are important distinctions to make. Here's the other one, application window. Same map, different colors, different emphasis on stuff. So there's regions specifically. But so, like I said, I'm working on a whole bunch of different projects that I'd like to be able to spend more time on, and driving just does not help with that, I guess you could say. Before I continue on. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Ghost of Recon, for the donation over on the Super Chats. What language and frameworks do you know? Okay, so I am intimately familiar with Java. When you say frameworks, are you talking about, like, I'm having a brain fart here, but when you say frameworks, are you talking about, like, data structures, libraries, IDEs? I'm confused. Maybe use a different term to describe the things that I'm thinking of, but so I'm intimately familiar with Java. Actually, most of the projects that I'm coding in this semester are in Java based, and the reason why that's the case is because you can do a lot more with Java than I would do with any other code language. The other languages that I'm familiar with: C++, C, Python, Scala, which is a lesser known language. I'm not actually sure what it is that I'm supposed to do with Scala. It's just a language that I've used before. But I think most confidently I am familiar with Java, definitely. Oh, okay, API. Gotcha. And then Ghost of Recon also donated another thing to say this. Hello. IE, React, Spring, etc. Okay. So currently I am using, and I'm pretty sure that this is answering your question. Right now, oh, I did not switch the screen back. Right now I am using Java Effects to code my card game specifically, along with a few others that I can't totally do off the top of my head. But I hope that answers your question. I don't know. Spring is the king of Java frameworks. I use IntelliJ to do all of my coding for Java, though. I'll say that. I'm tired. This weekend hit me like a brick, not gonna lie. You ever think how hard cartography was in the past? I do. Yeah, it's difficult now when you're fictionally drawing things. Do you draw conclusions? Yes, I also jump to conclusions. Says, as Per de Beer. David Gomes, thoughts on coronavirus? The concern that it's slowly encroaching in upon the Midwest is definitely grating upon me. I'm not gonna lie. I went to the store this weekend and I stocked up on the necessities. So your rices, your beans, got some meats, I got some flour, I got the necessities, the bare necessities, if you will. Just in case we do have to do the whole quarantine thing. Not that I think it's going to come anywhere near where it is I go to school, but, never hurts to be prepared. I don't think. I got a whole bunch of chicken noodle soup, a whole fuck ton, because I do not like being sick. If I'm going to be sick, we are going to eat some chicken noodle soup, all right? It's a miracle. It's a miracle drug, I swear. And speaking of things, Ghost of Recon is helping me to buy more chicken noodle soup by donating to say, love IntelliJ, you should learn Spring and Jobs equal easy. I probably should. I am hyper-focused, though, right now on just graduating, finishing my senior project. Hopefully, at some point, I'll get a chance to publish it for you guys all, so you can, actually see what it is that I've been doing all semester. See what it is that my education has been amounting to. And maybe I don't know, people will stop calling me a lazy bitch. I'm just kidding. They don't do that. I can't believe it's almost over, quite frankly. Like, honestly, I can't believe it's almost over. Alex, are you studying computer science or software engineering? I am studying computer science. That is the formal title of my major. Computer science. And I've been focusing specifically this semester, at least, on artificial intelligence. Last semester, that had to do with data mining and machine learning. The year before that, it's just the fundamentals and stuff, like foundations of computation, object-oriented software development, data structures, all that jazz. Lots of stuff. Ocean Redux, if they close down your campus because of coronavirus concerns, will you actually take it more seriously than you are now? Okay, so the reason why I'm taking it a little bit more seriously since the weekend happened is because actually we had a few people get diagnosed with coronavirus in Indianapolis. And that's close enough to where I go to school that the school decided that they had to take precautions and cancel specific events. They are in the works currently bringing back people who are studying abroad in areas directly hit by the CV. So that's Italy, for instance. Anyone who's studying abroad currently in Italy, because we have a very wide array of study abroad programs as well as I guess you could say international students. So we do have a lot of foreign traffic, and the school, for the safety of those students, has decided to pull them from their overseas programs. I don't know how they're getting, if like they're getting refunded, how the credit's going to go to them for that semester, what's going to happen with them, but they are being pulled. And so as a result, yes, I am taking a little bit more seriously. Definitely. That's why I've stocked up on provisions, just in case I can't leave the apartment for a few days or a week or so. Because we do eat in a public space in a buffet styled area, and I'd rather not risk it when I go to eat there. So I'd rather make my own food and be sure of the fact that it's not riddled with viral infections, if that makes sense. Excuse me. Hello, everybody. Thank you to Unholy Reaper who donated to the Streamlabs to say, here's for your necessities, as I don't need it here isolated in the mountains. That's fair. Thank you. I do appreciate that, because the stocking up on provisions did take a little bit of a dent out of my pocket. So that helps. That makes me happy. That helps me facilitate a lifestyle of drinking Stella and sitting in my room alone on a Sunday evening talking to you guys. But then again, if you guys didn't enjoy it, you wouldn't be here. All 59 of you. Hi, everybody. How are we doing this weekend? Ocean Redux, their refund is, hey, we pulled you the fuck out of Italy so that you didn't die. That's your refund, you millennial fuck. Yeah, okay. You say that probably in jest, but I would not be surprised if the school did exactly just that. Reason being why I wouldn't be surprised is because we recently had a fire here at campus in one of the halls for living, right? And during the fire department had gone in and they just hosed everything down with water, as they are wont to do. And, you expect that. You don't want the building to burn down. But more importantly, the shit inside of the room is getting hosed down with water. So for me, if they were to do that, that would mean that all of my electronic gear gets fried, gets soaked, gets ruined. And that is a substantial amount of money that just gets chucked out the window, just gets shoved down the drain, quite literally, because you're spraying it with water, right? So anyway, we had a fire. Shit got ruined for a lot of people. The school gave each student $40 in Walmart gift cards. To make up the difference of what it is that they lost, which is obviously not enough to recoup the losses that they suffered. Like, right? Am I right? And here's the other thing, too. The reason why it was that they're only getting the $40, I guess, is something to do with they didn't have renter's insurance. Can you believe that? Renter's insurance. Because you're allowed to have renter's insurance when it is that you're paying for room and board for a college. I'm like 90% sure, 98% sure that that's not how that works, because I have never had renter's insurance come across my desk before in my life, in the 4 years that it is that I've been at the school. Yeah, disrespectful as all hell, Cal Canel. Yeah. Ain't it? Ridiculous. Ridiculous, honestly. Unholy Reaper. I live on 150 acres in the mountains with a 10-acre garden and 2 acres of greenhouse. You can hunt year-round. I'm actually super jealous about that. Is the 150 acres your 150 acres specifically, or is it like land that you're able to just kind of peruse at your leisure? Am confused, and also that sounds like heaven to me. A little bit of paradise, not gonna lie. Before we continue on, hola. Thank you to Ocean Redux for the donation over on the Super Chats. Everyone, take a drink. Yes, exactly. Every time I say shenanigans, everyone should always take a drink, because that is the drinking game that we play on my channel. How's the house kitty, says Daniel Fullman. The house kitty is doing well. I just had a lovely pet with her, where she lays there and lazily gets scratched in the ears by me, myself, and Balik. I got a little bit of a nibble on the hand, though. Not gonna lie. The house kitty is not a big fan of getting affection, for the most part. I mean, she'll make exceptions every once in a while, but for the most part, she is not a big fan of getting touched. She likes attention, but she does not like getting touched, which is weird for me. Ocean Redux. If your school locks down, sends you all home, and starts pulling people out of institutional classes, I think honestly you should just accept what they're doing without complaints. They're trying to save your asses, to be honest. I mean, I get it, but for the rate we're paying, you can easily put someone out of house and home with the amount of shit that it is that we're dishing out for an education. And I know, yes, it was our selection to go here, but I'm at the point in my life where I cannot back out of my education, of my semester. I cannot take the 3 months that it would take to hose the school down and de-quarantine it or whatever. I'm at the point in my life where canceling semester midway through the semester would be severely detrimental to my education, to my prospects in the future. I cannot take like a grace semester, if you get my drift. I am this close to graduating with a major in both of my degrees, or both of my I am this close to graduating with a degree in both of my majors, and it would just be a massive inconvenience. Ocean Redux. I mean, it's not showing, but I mean, yeah, you're right. You pay a fuck ton of money to go there. I do. And the tuition's only gone up substantially since I got here. And to be quite frank, they do take every opportunity to kind of screw you out of money whenever they can. For instance, this semester, or this year, school year, they instituted something called healthcare insurance or whatever, or something to do with healthcare insurance that you could opt out of. So the school would directly insure you. You could go to the health department and get treated for anything that you needed to off the school's dime, since you're paying $1,000. So technically off your own dime, but you can opt out of it, essentially. It would be an extra $1,000 on top unless you opted out of it. And so I and my cousin actually opted out of the insurance plan through the school because we already have our own insurance through our parents. The problem was when the billing notification came through for fall semester 2019-2020, on the invoice that it was that my dad and I owed, it was substantially higher than we expected for a few reasons. Chief among them was the fact that I was no longer on a self-producing meal plan. Like, I was on the school's meal plan rather than just buying my own food and making it and stuff. So price went up substantially for that. But that wasn't accounting for the extra $1,000 on top that had to do with the insurance cost that they were imposing on us. So essentially we were paying an extra amount of money that we didn't anticipate paying in that same pay period. And that's $1,000 extra from what it was that we expected to. And while $1,000 doesn't seem like a lot, especially for what it is that we're paying, it is a lot for people who are just barely making those exact payments, on the payment plan. An extra unexpected $1,000 a month on top of what it is that you'd already budgeted for is a massive inconvenience to people. It means that you have to dip into savings. It means that you have to take out a loan because you did not expect that expense. And to do that, to screw over a whole bunch of people just because, oh, well, you know what? You won't have to worry about it the month after or the next payment cycle because it'll be deducted from your payment cycle that month. Well, some people don't have the luxury of just being like, oh, well, wait until this paying cycle to just worry about it or to have it forgiven. That's not how this works. That's not how real life works. And it's grotesquely inconsiderate to your paying customers, essentially. Honestly, especially not to warn people about that beforehand. Because I remember the day my dad saw the invoice, he asks me, he goes, Weebo, come down here. I need you to look at this for a second, because he was confused. I look at it. I'm confused. And I'm like, hang on. I specifically opted out of this. I made sure to. I have the email right here confirming this. And then I called the school, asked him about that. And he's just like, oh, take care of this, figure it out, and then I want you to report back to me. So I did all of the calculations and all of the math and figured out what was going on, where the discrepancy was coming from. And I called the school and they're like, yeah, we'll take it off next payment cycle. But for right now, you get charged an extra $1,000 a month. Ugh, it just pissed me the fuck off. And it was very disrespectful because not only did they not tell us that this was going to happen, they just did it. They just did it. All right. Before I continue on, thank you, Beware Atheist, for the $10 over on the Super Chats. Is that 4 pillows in the background? Yes, that is 4 pillows in the background, plus the back pillow that I use to sit up on, because I am a princess. Don't you know? No, what I use the pillows for is I kind of surround myself in a little nest. So I have obviously the one under my head, the one under my legs to kind of balance out the back pain that it is that I experience every day. God gave me curves, but he cursed me with them as well. And then I also have the ones for my shoulders because I have shoulder issues, I guess. And so I need to kind of like keep them elevated, I guess, is one way to say them. Or I need to, whenever it is that I'm sleeping, they have to be not like pointed downwards, angled downwards, I guess you could say. Or they have to be wrapped around something. They have to be stabilized. So I do that. I make a nest of pillows around myself because that's the most comfortable. It's the best for me. And I prefer it that way. It's how I sleep easiest. And it keeps any back pain it is that I would experience at bay, which is nice. Another thing before it is that I go on. Hello. Thank you to Ghost of Recon for the donation. No message. Just want to contribute. I do appreciate that. And please don't just... For the record, when it is that I complain about college expenses and college screwing me over and shit like that, don't think that it is that I'm like vying for extra donations. It's all taken care of. This is months and months and months ago that this happened. It's not an issue anymore. We resolved everything. It's all fine and dandy, but I do still feel the need to kind of vent about it a little bit because it was greatly disrespectful. I will just say that. I'm 100% sure school nurse mandates won't heal that shit. Are you talking about, the coronavirus? Maybe. I don't know. Highline Patriot, he's back and he has noodles. I'm a little bit jealous. I like noodles a great deal. A great deal indeed. Weebo is the prepper princess. Yes, I am the prepper princess. I'm also a proper princess. Totally, 100%. That's why I'm drinking beer and talking to all you guys on the internet on a Sunday evening instead of doing my studies and prepping myself for the morning. Actually, you know what I should be doing? Low-key. Let's see. Tomorrow I have class and then I have work for 5 hours. So, I mean, that's going to be fun. What is my dream car? Okay. So I don't have like a specific dream car. I have a shape that I like, but I know less about cars than I know about guns. which is sad because my boyfriend is such like a mechanic head, I guess you could say. He loves cars, loves them to death. They're his passion. They are his babies. He's got 3 of them. Not that I would count the last one. It's kind of a shit. It's okay. Don't tell him I said this, but it's kind of a shitty car. It barely works. I don't even think he likes it that much. But it was the first car that he ever properly owned, I think. But, like, I guess if I were to get a car, it would have to be something shaped similarly to the 67 Chevy Impala from Supernatural, because I just love the body on that thing. And I am super, I guess you could, how would you say it? Particular? I'm super into aesthetics. If it doesn't look right, if I think it's ugly, I'm not going to want it. Even if it's got the best gas mileage you could offer me, no, fuck that. I like a car without the curves because I got plenty of curves. I just need something that's a little bit more angular. So if we can go with that, we're good. But it can't be too old, you know? It's got to be something more classier, classic-y, if that makes sense. But I don't know anything about cars, so I don't know what would be good versus what would not be good. Affable Sage. So I don't think I heard your opinion on this, but what do you think of Bernie's free college thing? Are you talking about like we all get free college or free community college or college debt is forgiven? That is an important question to answer when it is that I'm answering this. It's Gear Weebo. Oh, Gearhead. Yeah, he's a gearhead. He is a massive gearhead. Like, I'm surprised he didn't go into auto mechanics when he graduated high school, like straight into that field, but he's not. He's in manufacturing. So as for free college, specifically community free college, I think, you know, that might be more ideal than just flat rate free college for all on all platforms. That's free community college is more doable. And I only say that because a lot of the colleges in my areas that are community college, I mean, you're getting your gen eds out of the way, which are completely useless, let's be honest, unless it is that you're going into that specific area for the rest of your degree. But, you know, like, they're already free in my area. If you live in this general vicinity, you get basically free tuition for a lot of these universities. And that's, I don't know why it is that they do that, but it wouldn't make much of a difference. However, free 4-year, that I have a little bit of is a little bit more of a tough sell for me. Actually, a lot more of a tough sell for me because free college means that people's educations start being useless, right? I like the competitive edge that my degree gives me, even though everyone and their mother already has my degree or my major or degree in my major, I guess. But I do like having that bit more of a competitive edge that my scholarships and my funding of my education and my working through it and all of that jazz that has given me. As for just completely forgiving college debt, I don't like that idea because I don't think it makes any sense at all. Why would we forgive that debt? What economic implications could this have on people? Honestly, like, here's the other thing too. I don't have a stake in it because I will graduate college completely debt-free thanks to my own scholarship as well as the help of my father. Greatest man that I know alive, not gonna lie. He is my hero. But like, so I don't have an opinion on the college debt thing. I do think it's a little bit silly to just completely write it off as if it didn't happen, because it did effectively happen. People still do need to get paid for what it is that they did work-wise. Professors are providing a service to students, but the students are investing in something that they're expecting to get something out of. So the whole concept, sorry, I need a tissue. Give me one sec. The whole concept of debt forgiveness for college makes it seem like I wouldn't know how that would work. Exactly. 1, I'm not an economics major. 2, I don't know how it would work. So I struggle with this question for a number of reasons, a multitude of reasons. The entire platform, pay for college yourself, it's an investment, free everything. Yes, no, it is an investment into your future. You have to work towards it. I mean, the next thing you know, if we start forgiving college debt, we have to then we also start forgiving mortgage debt or mortgage payment or credit card debt or take your pick fancy, car payments, whatever. Money doesn't mean anything anymore, you know? People just start expecting the government to provide for them at any given point in time, and then nothing is worth anything anymore. At least that's where it is that I would see it. Wait, isn't that contradictory? What do you mean? Where libraries aren't supposed to have sounds, I thought. Oh, wait, what are we talking about? Library sounds. Hey, Weebo, running on Polytime, I see. How am I running on Polytime? We are on time. I have half an hour left in this show, and then I can like go and take a shower. Okay, so the idea of debt forgiveness does make me extremely uncomfortable for a number of reasons, even though it is that I don't have a stake in the game regarding debt forgiveness. Like, I don't have any debt that would need to be forgiven. At the same time, I haven't paid off all of the debt, so I don't feel like I'm being cheated out of that opportunity itself. There is an argument to be made that if you're going to forgive everyone's current debt, then you have to also retroactively refund the rest of them, those people who it is that you took money from in order to repay their own debts, right? That seems ridiculous to me. And when it is that we're talking about debt forgiveness, we're just talking about government subsidized loans for education, right? Not private loans specifically. That's another point to be taken into consideration, because when it is that you're when it is that you're investing in your education, you're not just looking at government loans for your education, the FAFSA, if you will. Because I did qualify for a little bit of money in terms of loans, but I didn't take it. But you can also subsidize your education with private loans as well, but at a substantially higher interest rate. However, I don't think the government would have any say on whether or not it is that you get to have that debt forgiven in the long run either. So that's what I'm curious about. What does that entail? Are you just forgiving government loans? In which case, how far back does that go? And are you retroactively doing that as well? Which means, are you refunding a whole bunch of people? I would have to specifically ask these questions because I don't know if they've been answered. And I don't know if they have answers to them. So I would be taking a position that I didn't have enough information on, if I were to take a position. Does that make sense? What else we got here, guys? Somebody forgot to spring forward. Yeah, no, it's 9:04 where it is that I am currently. It is daylight savings time. Yeah, Seamus. It's daylight savings time. We all spring forward. Fun shit, am I right? I did no such thing, assassins. Polly is probably resting his little eyes. His little otter eyes. So, what else is it that you guys have question-wise regarding your girl Weebo? I mean, because basically this has just been a giant Q&A of just questions that you guys have had, because I have no one else to talk to. I mean, I could probably scrounge up somebody from the chat that wanted to hop on, but I think this offers a little bit more of an intimate experience for you guys, right? Like, instead of me talking with someone else, I'm talking directly with you guys, the chat. You know, every once in a while, this is good. I think you guys appreciate this. I mean, I hope you guys appreciate this. Dana Fullman, if college is free, wouldn't people just live at college to avoid getting a job? Some people actually do something akin to that, not because it's free, but because they don't have like a life plan. They don't know what to do after they graduate, because after you graduate, right, you don't really have that same structure that a semester by semester plan offers you. Because obviously, when it is that you're at college, things are kind of ordered in such a way. You have an end to look forward to, you have vacation to look forward to. Whereas when you start entering the workforce, you have to schedule that out for yourself. You have to determine when that time is good to take. It's not as regimented unless you make it so, or unless your job is very, very specific about when it is you come in, I guess. So some people do go to college endlessly just because they don't have any other plan, or because they don't know how to regiment their lives, or because the idea of having to regiment their own lives makes them uncomfortable. It is a phenomenon that I've heard tell about people. So that's part of the reason some people go on to get a master's degree, because they don't know what to do next. Another reason is probably because they can't find a job, which hopefully is not going to be me. I don't want to have to pay for college. I'll find a nice company, settle down with that company, have them pay for my master's degree, get educated, and then get out. I'm kidding. But am I? What else we got here? Sorry. The Socialist Democrats are playing Santa Claus to buy votes of otherwise useless people with non-viable degrees. Yeah, that seems pretty close to the truth. They are, it seems to me, taking bribery to the next level, in the sense of, well, you know, if you vote for us, we will make our best efforts to give you all this free shit. That's healthcare, that's education, that's, take your pick fancy, whatever other social programs you can put on the table. And while some social programs do have their benefits, do have their merits, they could do with some upgrades, some more formal order, and some could even do with being put away entirely. Done away with entirely, I guess you could say. Seamus Derby, the federal government shouldn't be involved with education, period. I'm not sure I have an opinion on that. I mean, on the one hand, it makes sense to mandate that people go to at least a substantial point in education. But on the other hand, a lot of the education it is that we get, that we are mandated to have or whatever, that, you know, you get talked to by truancy officers for missing, it's completely useless. So I do think that the education area, the world of education, is due for a substantial upgrade in the way that they are assessed, in the way that is that they're delivering a product, definitely. But unfortunately, I do not see that happening anytime soon, because no one's talking about it. Ocean Redux. Do you play Dark Souls or any fighting games? Also, what kind of nail polish do you use? Actually, legitimate question. So I don't play Dark Souls. I don't play a lot of video games, actually. The last time I played a video game, it was 7 Days to Die, and it was with Balak and his server. That was maybe 3 weeks ago, but the problem was my computer kept shutting down midway through the game because for whatever reason, it just couldn't handle anything. I'm hoping that after I updated the drivers, things got a little bit less quirky. But I haven't tested it out because I haven't had the time to test it out. But definitely at some point, I'm going to figure out whether or not my computer can actually handle playing video games. Because I would really like to start getting into that, especially now that I have a little bit more free time, now that I'm about to graduate. Unholy Reaper, your boyfriend is in manufacturing, so he's learning machining same as I am. Learning machining, you mean like it? So I wouldn't say he works a typical factory job, at least anymore. He produces parts on a very microscopic, minute, small level on a variety of in a variety of tasks and areas. So it's not just one thing that he's producing a variety of things, and he does a very good job of it. He is like a machine when it is that he's working. So I've been told productivity in his company has gone up astronomically since he joined, I guess. I don't know. That's just what he tells me. Daniel Fulman, you were asking about house buying. What is your dream house, non-Barbie? A Victorian, a farmhouse, ranch style, or bungalow? So when we talk about Victorian, I gotta double check this. I'm thinking what I'm thinking it is. Is that the one that looks adorable and doll-like? Yes. The Victorian houses with the wraparound porches? Absolutely. So for those of you who are unsure what it is that I'm looking at, here we go. Images. I'm talking about these things. I think that these are adorable. Look at that. That is just so cute. Oh, 10 out of 10 would live there. Like, I don't even need to see the inside. I love the way that it's constructed. There are multiple colors. There are accent colors. The little spire roof thing. Oh, I'm in love. Yes, I have been searching for houses. I have a whole spreadsheet dedicated to things to look for. That's why I was tweeting about it, because I wanted ideas to put into the spreadsheet for when it is that boyfriend and I are looking for a house, because we are looking to invest in a nice living space. Oh, sorry. These are just adorable. I love the way that these look. They look like mini castles. How can you not want to live in one of these? They're so cute. Okay, Zombie Teddy, question. If the government agrees to pay for your education, couldn't they also decide what you take? Here's the other thing too, right? If the government is determining, or if the government is paying for your education, I feel like they should be a little bit more discriminatory about what education they're paying for, you know? So, underwater basket weaving is obviously a completely useless degree to get, I think. And I'm pretty sure most would agree. Gender studies probably doesn't have a lot of utility in the money-making world. I think you would agree. I think that if the government is to get themselves involved, they should be a little bit more specific about what it is that they're willing to fund versus not. What would be more reliable? What would be more of a return investment for them specifically? It just makes sense. It just makes sense. Since the creation of the Board of Education, our per capita expenditures on students has exponentially increased while students' competence has dropped through the floor. There's probably something to be said about that regarding the reliance on other people to pay for it, making it seem less like the expenditures are worth it. The expenditures are something that you worked for. You know, people take a lot more pride in things that it is that they themselves have gotten for themselves, that they have put all the effort into. And that's a thing that comes with cognitive dissonance. If you didn't put more effort into something, that you're not going to enjoy it as much, and you're not going to put more effort into it to substantiate it, to make sure it's justified. And you see that a lot with people who have things handed to them. They don't appreciate those things. I mean, you see a whole bunch of first world ninnies with their cell phones just being handed to them, or cars being handed to them and then trashing them because, well, you know what? I didn't work for this. This isn't really anything that's significant to me. I mean, it might be to someone else who's actually footing the bill, but, you know, since I don't have anything to do with this except for it's mine to use, it doesn't matter to me if it just gets wrecked, because I didn't put all the effort into producing this for myself. My kids are definitely going to have to work for the things that they want. I stand by this. Like, we'll pay for half the car so long as you pay for the other half. Or we'll pay for half your college so long as you work for the scholarships to pay for the other half. I significantly appreciate all the things that it is that my dad has went in halvesies with me for. My education is something that I worked very hard to be able to achieve, not just to get the good grades, but also to get the scholarship that allows me to attend such a prestigious institution. I will graduate in 4 years because I have worked very hard to do so with 2 majors in 2 very completely different fields. Not a lot of people can say that they can do that or can say that they've done that. What else we got? Bro, that house looks legit 100% like a witch's house, says Ocean Redux. Yeah, it does. That's my aesthetic. I love the idea of having a little bit more of a classier styled house with like weird architecture. Not the expected, you know? I don't want to live in one of those suburb houses that just basically is a copy paste of itself. That makes me want to vomit, quite frankly. I want a Victorian style house. I don't know if I've iterated that to boyfriend, but I'm gonna tell him that like if we're gonna invest in a nice house, it's gonna be a Victorian style, definitely. They look seriously haunted. Yeah, they probably are. Nice. Assassins of the Great. We are assuming the government has students' best interests in mind instead of making an idiot class that will vote blue no matter who every 2 years. That is a goddamn shame. You know, because it does feel like nowadays, as opposed to previously, the focus for the people has been more on garnering votes for either side as opposed to bettering the lives of the people, you know, overall. It seems like the way that things have been going about. If that weren't the case, we would be seeing an abundance more compromise. But it seems like people have been polarized to their opposing sides in such a way that there is no longer a possibility for people to meet in the middle to discuss their likenesses, the things that make them unique and the same. Unique versus the same, I guess. I see it actually quite frequently in my comments, unfortunately, where people have polarized themselves so separately from the Democrats to a point where they can no longer relate. And that's devastating to me because we're all human. We all have, I would hope, similar values, similar drives, right? We all want very similar things: to survive, to live long lives, to prosper, to not live in the streets, to, at the very least, live happy lives, live our lives being happy. And we should be able to meet in the middle somehow on that, in such a way that doesn't greatly impose on the rights and freedoms of the other party or the other people that are involved in this. We should be able to see the other side not for what we want them to be, because it fulfills our narrative, but rather for what they are, what they desire, what they want, why they want it. That's a lot of the reason why I majored in psychology, is not because I wanted to figure out what was wrong with me, but because I wanted to figure out what was wrong with everyone else, which sounds super arrogant, but hear me out. So you walk through life and you're wondering why people can't agree. Specifically, my parents, when they were going through their divorce, they had absolutely no heart to see either person's perspective. It was always, well, your father, well, your mother, well, less my father saying my mother, but the idea is the same here. 2 opposing sides, diametrically opposed in all things, livid with each other, unrelenting completely. I wanted to understand that. And so I looked to study the mind, why people come to conclusions, why people are the way that they are, what drives people, how people learn things, how people produce opinions and conclusions, how people can be manipulated by information from the outsource or from their own biases as well. And because of that, I have this uncanny ability to be able to relate to anyone I damn well please, which makes it extremely difficult to be pissed off with people for the most part. With a few exceptions. My roommates being those exceptions. And only because I cannot understand living in a world of filth the way that we have been for however long it is that we've been living in this disgusting shithole. Sorry. But you all know the trials and tribulations of Weebo living in her current abode. What else we got? Oh. Hang on. Hello, everybody. Thank you to Evolved Potato for the donation. I'm more prefer the Queenslander style house, but that might just be a bias about the name. Suit yourself. I like the Victorian style houses. I don't know why. It's just my aesthetic, I guess. I think it's interesting. What else we got? Who has opinions about what it is that I just said? I lived in one of those copy-paste houses for like 8 months. Yeah, wasn't it soul-sucking? I'm just kidding. I mean, live in whatever kind of house you want. I could not live in a house that is the exact same as my neighbor's house, is exact same as the neighbor down the street's house. It feels like I am getting the soul sucked out of me, you know? Daniel Fullman, after leaving the coffee house place job, will you tell us stories about working there? Horror stories about working there. Yes, I will. Although I don't know how many stories I'll have to tell you because there are a few things like insider trader coffee house secrets about the world of X company versus Y company and X partnered licensed company versus a corporate company, but I don't see those as particularly as interesting as like the average Karen stories that you normally get that people normally want. But yeah, I can do those. I can do those definitely. I don't understand empty posturing or moral posturing anymore. Sorry, Weebo. Are you talking about am I morally posturing or are we talking about the other side? I'm pretty much a Nazi, though, so at the moment I could care less about the rights of anyone non-white, says Ocean Redux. Interesting. Good for you. Assassins of the Great, you are not accounting for the intended balkanization of people by politics since the 60s, the long march through the institutions. You're going to have to give me a few more details about that, Assassins, because I'm a tad confused what you mean by that. Self for the blind. Politics is stinky and gray. You know, that's a sentiment that I can definitely relate to. Because here's the thing, right? In my observations of the world, I've noticed that the polarized oppositions as they're presented online are greatly exaggerated versions of what it is that you get in real life. Most people that I meet in real life who have a political position are not nearly as extreme as their online counterparts would, or their online counter positions would have you believe them to be. So what I'm talking about is like your lefties proclaiming that the right are racist Nazi types. I mean, even the people that I know online aren't, for the most part, racist Nazi types that I've met. There are a few, I will say, but I have yet to meet one IRL who vehemently believes in a white ethno state and that the gays should be eradicated, or at least we should go back to pre-marriage laws United States. For the most part, it's less about that the gays should not have their rights and more about we should be less promiscuous as a society, which I can get behind. I think that it is ridiculous that we have 12-year-olds on the internet with Instagram accounts and a whole bunch of just nasty in the comments section talking about what they would like to do to those 12-year-old girls. I think that social media is greatly responsible for this type of culture that we've produced. And the reason why is because that shit gets attention. That extreme levels of polarization gets attention. And the same can be said about the left and what they have to say about, or the right and what they have to say about the left. So you'll see righties on the internet talking and decrying the lefties who are pedo apologists or whatever. And you'll see examples of that on the internet, but in real life, I have yet to find someone who is a genuine pedophile apologist who advocates for LGBT rights. And to me, that tells me that the problem isn't with the general population, it's rather with the environment that we've created with social media. Like I said, those extreme positions gather attention. And so I'm wondering if those extreme positions that it is that we have examples of on the internet are less genuine positions and more so manufactured positions for the sake of clicks and views and whatnot. Does that make sense? Daniel Fullman, if you could tell your younger self one thing, what would it be if not too personal? And how old would the younger me be? Okay, if I could tell myself one thing. Don't listen to your dad. Take the computer science course, the AP computer science course your senior year of high school. You will use it. That was actually not as hard as I thought it was going to be initially. Yeah, no, that definitely is something that I would tell myself. So like junior going into senior high school, Weebo, definitely take that AP computer science course. Also, previous college year Weebos, get an internship at a tech company. Get yourself more experience in the field, even if you only have CS1 as a class. I cannot emphasize that enough. Experience is so helpful to have when it is your job searching. Because I think that's part of the reason why it is that I'm being held back. Thank you to Lion Patriot who donated to say, my dream house would also be a Victorian style. I'll also have secret passages installed. You read my mind. I low-key have a dream that any house that it is that I move into is going to either have or have secret passages installed into the infrastructure or the architecture of the household itself. And boyfriend agrees with me on this, so we'll be doing some minor modifications to the household whenever it is that we buy it. Y'all won't see it, but you will see the house when it is that we get a chance to invest in it. I don't know if the first house that we choose will be the house, or if perhaps we might construct our own, design our own household. Boyfriend has certainly left that on the table. He's said that he would be open to the possibility of designing and building our own house, but that is a bit of an expensive undertaking. A bit. Ocean Redux. When you go about your day, shopping, working, driving, eating, interacting, divulging beliefs that should be kept in your own home is generally a bad idea. Well, certainly. And I'm not talking about just interacting with people on the daily that you just happen to see in the general population. I'm talking about just people that you interact with on a daily in a less unfamiliar setting. So like your professors, teachers, other students, the people that you interact with on a more intimate level than just, oh, hi, that's what I'm talking about. Zell for the blind. There's like an extra minute of that cat chasing her across the room after the initial clip. Wait, oh, are we talking about Alinity? Oh yeah, she got bitten by her cat. I saw that. I did not see the clip, the extended clip. If someone could send that to me on Twitter, I would be much obliged. By the way, guys, we have about 60 seconds left in this stream. So quick rapid fire questions. I'll answer as many of them as I possibly can in the next 60 to 120 seconds. And then we'll wrap this up and I'll let you be on your way. GK Travelers. Also, did you apply for the various grad programs at companies and such? Well, I haven't gotten, are you talking about graduate programs, like grad school programs? Because I have not. gotten a chance to do that. But I have been applying to get just a job in general. We keep scrolling down. But like, if your boyfriend wants kids, you need to let him know that ideologically you two aren't the same. If he's progressive liberal, I don't think he's a progressive liberal. Actually, I don't think he has very many opinions regarding politics to begin with. I'm the more opinionated person in our relationship. And so I think that it doesn't matter as much. The important things we do stand on the same page about. But I mean, like, I don't think he's a progressive liberal type. I don't get that sense about him. We've had various discussions about it. What's a couple $100,000? A great deal. A great deal. What else we got? Damn, this shit ended early. Well, yeah, usually because I have Poly to play off of. We go an extra hour and a half, if not 2 hours, over the allotted time. But you can already tell my voice is getting a little bit scraggly, I guess you could say. And I don't know how long I can go just talking by myself as is. I'd like to keep it under 2 hours at the very least, but I do feel myself losing my voice as we keep talking. Daniel Fullman, has Polly ever missed an entire show? He has once before, and it was due to a car accident. Evolved Potato, we know you're very opinionated. What? No. No. Yeah, the graduate intake program at companies, government agencies. I did a great grad program out of uni, and it gave me great stuff for my resume. Are you talking about internships? I'm not sure. But anyway, we are OT. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. Thank you to all who donated in both the Streamlabs and the Super Chats. I appreciate you greatly. To those who didn't donate, I also appreciate you greatly, mainly because you give me something to work off of when it is that I am running out of things to say. But also, I just love the fact that there is an entire community out there that interacts with me when it is that I'm on stream. Like, how nuts is that? I never would have anticipated myself being in this position at least 4 years ago, if not 5. Ever. At all. I didn't think I was nearly this interesting. But I guess, apparently, there are a few people at least out there that think that I am this interesting. So, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you to all who shared this. Assassins of the Gray, if you did that, I appreciate that specifically because I know you go out of your way to do that. Thank you to all who will be commenting later and liking later, and all who liked and commented thus far. Thank you to all who subscribed to Polly, even though he is woefully absent from this stream. Hopefully he feels better if that is the issue. If not, then we will give him shit about this next week. By the way, same time, same place. As for shilling, I will be coming out with at least 2 videos this week. I hope. We'll see. It all depends on how my artificial intelligence project goes, but you will definitely get the one political video. Absolutely. I make that promise here and now. In the meantime, enjoy yourselves, and I'll see you guys when I see you next. Toodaloo, ladies and gents. Peace out.